awareness and environmental protection. He has received prestigious prestigious award like Mumbai Hero by Mumbai Mirror, given by CM Fadnavis for voting awareness campaign among youth, and Ahmedabad City K by Radio City for environmental protection campaign. Since 2 years and now works in creating awareness of animal rights. In animal rights, he has done Right to Happiness, collaborating four major international NGOs in which he did a road trip of 1,000 kilometers on scooty, activating and starting vegan communities, four major cities of Gujarat, namely Rajkot, Ahmedabad, uh, Vadodara, and Surat, and has been working in vegan outreach NGO for a year, spreading awareness of animal rights and impact of diet on the environment. So this is the small introduction to the introduce the Jaideep Sinnasars. I also welcome to this program and give the good uh, uh, this webinar. Okay, I like to speak now. Jaideep Sinnasar.
Thank you so much, Sheshappa sir, for this wonderful introduction, and thank you so much, Jaikar sir, for the speech. I really heard it. It was like it was almost everything that we are trying to convey in this presentation. So yes, thank you so much for that. Am I audible, ma'am, sir? Like, am I clearly audible? Voice
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So before starting, I would like to give out a couple of instructions. There's a question answer section towards the end of the webinar. So if you have any questions throughout the webinar, during the webinar, just type out your questions in question answer sections. And towards the end of the webinar, we'll take up all your questions. If you are facing any technical difficulties with audio or video, then you can type out in chat. Otherwise, don't mention your questions in chat. Mention your questions in question answers. So without any further ado, I'll quickly share my screen and start with today's webinar. Okay, so topic for the today's webinar is food, planet, and health. As rightly explained by Jaikar sir, it's basically the impact that our food health has on the health of the planet and on our health. So Jaikar sir has like really helped me by saying all those things. It has like almost covered introduction to everything. So like sir said that any food that comes to our plate requires a certain amount of resource in order to be manufactured, processed, and brought into your plate. Something as simple as tea that we consume. For that, tea leaves are probably grown in northeast or somewhere. So they'll require water for the plantation. They'll require land for the plantation. Then they'll require multiple resources like use of fossil fuel for their transportation and for various processes. So any food that comes to our plate contains certain amount of resource footprint in terms of the amount of water that it consumes, amount of land that it uses, amount of carbon that it generates into the environment. So the food that you and I eat not only impacts us individually, but also onto a planetary level, because as sir said, we are a population of 8 billion right now, and we're moving towards a 10 billion figure. So the demand that we generate amplifies with our choices. Something as simple as tea. So 1 liter of milk, it requires about 1,000 liters, 600 to 1,000 liters of clean drinking water. So if a country of say 100 billion, 100 crore people like India, if half of the population consumes one tea a day, that's 50 crore cups of tea, which would require much more water than that, 1,000 times more water. So a lot of demand that we generate uses up a bunch full of Earth's resources. Hence, it's more important right now to be aware of our choices than ever. So quickly, what we'll be talking about in the webinars, we'll be talking about risks to public safety and health, food shortages, global warming, and how today is the right time to move towards a more sustainable diet. So I'd quickly like to explain this term called factory farming. Sir has almost pretty much covered it. So because in order to maximize the profit out of an industry, we have started this system of animal agriculture wherein we cramp up as many animals in the least amount of resources possible. So the cost or the expenditure behind the resources is less, and you get the maximum output out of it. So in order to maximize your profit as an industry, and it has led to multiple implications like various health hazards, usage of illegal hormones and antibiotics. There are various welfare reasons, and large amount of uh, large amount of resource consumption and pollution to our clean drinking water and our air. We'll discuss this as we move ahead in the presentation. So the first thing that comes to our mind when we hear animal agriculture or factory farms is that this must not happen in India. I mean, we have already, like, all of us, when we imagine animal agriculture, we probably imagine a field with a farmer with 2 cows or, 3 buffaloes, which is the case for most of the country. But the demand that we generate is so huge, it's so humongous that it cannot be fulfilled with that scenario. So although majority of the animal agriculture is a farmer with a couple of cattle, but in order to satisfy the demand, we have large production units wherein we have plenty of cattle, a humongous number of cattle. So these are some of the statistics from Ministry of Animal Husbandry and UN Food and Agriculture Organization. So we are number one in number of cattle. We have 210 million cattle. We are number one country across the world with largest population of cattle. In number of buffalo population, we are number one. We have world's 57% of global buffalo population. In number of chicken, we have 5, and these are the number which are registered with a Ministry of Animal Husbandry. So the demand that you and I generate feeds an industry that impacts the world on a global level. We have largest number of cattle population. So the demand of food that we generate right now in our country is actually impacting the world. So before moving ahead, I quickly have a poll for all of you to answer. So I'll read out the poll. The poll says, do you think milk, meat, and eggs are healthy? First is yes, second is no. Please feel free to answer whatever you think is right. It's an anonymous survey, so please fill out whatever you think is right. So do you think milk, meat, and eggs are healthy? If you think yes, answer is yes. If you think no, answer no. So I'll quickly keep this poll for 15 more seconds. Okay, so I'll end the poll and share the result with all of you. So as you can see, majority of you thinks that milk, meat, and eggs are healthy for us. So let's find out. Let's first start with milk, something all of us are very much familiar with, have been consuming it like probably all our life, and something very basic as I think all of you must have heard this. We say that milk is complete food, which is a partial truth. Milk is complete food. If you consume milk, you don't need to consume anything else. It has all the nutrients and all the vitamins, antibiotics that are required. But for whom is it complete food? For you and me? Milk milk starts after a childbirth. So all mammals, they start lactating after giving birth to their newborn baby. Milk has all the nutrients, all the vitamins, all the minerals that are essential for the growth of that newborn baby. When mammals are born, they don't have solid teeth, so they need liquid diet to give them a large amount of growth in short amount of span, so that they can start consuming solid food. That is the natural purpose of milk. When a calf is born, its weight is about 15 to 20 kgs. When it consumes its mother's milk for about a year, it weighs up to 125 to 150 kgs. So that increase of 120 kg over a span of year, that is the natural purpose of the cows or buffaloes milk that we consume. Now it's very surprising that when we reflect upon it, we find that how odd is it that we believe that nutritional requirement of a newborn calf and an adult human are similar. So milk is complete food, but it's not complete food for us humans. It's complete food for the calf for which it's secreted. Apart from that, there are multiple other reasons because of factory farming, how these factory farms operate is they are trying to get maximum profit out of it. So a lot of times they use various illegal hormones to increase the milk production. There's no cleanliness around it. There's a pus limit of 20 million pus cells per liter according to FSSI. So about 20 million pus cells are legally allowed to be in your milk. Now all of us know that it's pasteurized, but what pasteurization does is it inactivates the bacteria with heat. It does not filter them. So even if you consume pasteurized milk, you still have inactivated pus and bacteria into your body. And a large amount of antibiotics and painkillers are given to these animals because they suffer from various infections from time to time. If you Google, more than 50% of world's antibiotics is used for animal agriculture. And what this does is, when we consume derivatives of these animals, we're consuming antibiotics for no reason. It generates antibiotic resistance in our body, and when we are actually suffering from bacterial infection, the doctor needs to give you higher dose for those antibiotics to work. Then there are pesticides that are found in milk. So I know a lot of us would say that pesticides are even found in plants that we consume in vegetables and fruits. But there's a limit, and there's a more control, higher control in the type of pesticides that could be used for food, which is for human consumption, which is not the same for animals. So large amount of antibiotics, pesticides are used on their feed, and which then accumulates in these cattle's body, and when we consume their derivatives, it also comes to our bodies. So these are some of the general practices. Now you could argue that you can probably find a dairy where none of these practices happen, and of course you can, there are plenty of places where none of these would happen. But still, then again, milk is naturally not secreted for you, it's secreted for the baby for which like for the baby for which the milk is secreted. Now let's talk about health. Eggs. All of us have known that eggs are synonym to protein. If you are gymming, or if you are athletic, you need to consume eggs, and which is true. Eggs do contain large amount of proteins, but they also contain large amount of cholesterol. Today, almost 30% of India's population is battling with high cholesterol and hypertension. So cholesterol basically clogs your arteries and veins, constricting the blood pathway, leading to high amount of pressures, also known as hypertension in your body. And this is because of the food that we are consuming. Talking about meat, so there are various things that are talked, like there's genetically manipulated, it's unhygienic, there are nitrates and saturated fats. But today I would like to point out something that all of us have faced, irrespective of what diet we consume, is the pandemic that we are currently battling with, the COVID-19. It's one of the many zoonotic diseases that are transferred from these animals to humans. It's not the first or the last disease that has been stuck to our population. Every couple of years we have a new zoonotic disease like bird flu, swine flu, SARS, MERS. It impacts our society to such a greater extent. I think collectively we need to start consuming a diet that does not causes so many diseases every couple of years. Now, before moving ahead, I have a quick video for all of you to watch. I'll quickly share the video.
Hi, I'm Madhavan, and I am a vegetarian. When you see what goes on inside slaughterhouses, I think you'll lose your appetite for animal flesh too. Animals feel pain just as people do. They value their lives just as we value ours. They're terrified by sights and smells of the slaughterhouses, and they fight for every last breath. If you eat animals, you should know what happens to chickens, pigs, cows, sheep, fish, and other animals used for food. Please give me a few moments to show you the routine cruelty involved in raising, transporting, and killing these animals. Chickens are the most abused animals on the planet. Those raised for their flesh are packed in filthy sheds, often with thousands of other birds. Fumes from their accumulated waste burn their throats and eyes. Most birds lose their feathers and develop blistering, ulcerated feet and other ailments. They are pushed to grow such unnaturally large upper bodies so fast that their legs often become crippled under their own weight. PETA India has exposed shocking cruelty to chickens, including live scalding, starvation, and mutilation of birds. On egg farms, hens spend their entire lives crammed into wire cages so small that they can't even spread a single wing. Since they can't use them, their muscles waste away and their bodies deteriorate. Standing on the wire, their feet become lacerated. The ends of their sensitive beaks are cut off with a hot blade, causing them chronic pain. Some birds starve to death when eating becomes too painful. They never even see their chicks. At the end of their miserable lives, chickens are grabbed by their frail legs and wings, often causing broken bones. Many chickens are transported to shops where they are tied together upside down by their legs and then crammed into cages. The terrified birds have their throats slit with blunt knives and often put in a drum full of scalding water whilst they are still conscious. Goats and sheep, sensitive animals who wag their tails, affectionately nuzzle people, and worry when they are separated from their social groups, are often grabbed by their fur or wool and thrown or sometimes pulled by their ears into extremely crowded lorries. Those who do survive this ordeal are typically killed in front of other terrified animals at slaughterhouses. Workers often use such dull knives that the animals endure prolonged agony before they lose consciousness. Meat, eggs, and dairy products are riddled with fat, cholesterol, and they're often tainted with Campylobacter, Salmonella, and other harmful bacteria. Eating animals put you at risk for diabetes, heart disease, cancer, and other health problems. And factory farms are responsible for outbreaks of bird flu, swine flu, SARS, and other animal-borne diseases. The United Nations report concluded that a global shift towards a vegetarian diet is necessary to combat climate change, water shortages, forest destruction, pollution, and world hunger. Going vegetarian is the best thing you can do to help animals, people, and the planet. For me, being vegetarian is all about being compassionate. I love animals, so I would never eat them. I hope you'll also make that compassionate choice and go vegetarian. And please, share
Okay, so I know the video could be very shocking if you are seeing this for the first time. None of us probably asked this, like have asked this to ourselves. Where does our food come from? So I don't want all of you to believe what you saw. Probably it was very exaggerated version of it. But these are some of the questions that I would like all of you to take back from today's webinar and do your own research. Check out your local places where you source your food from. Ask people questions. Google stuff. Like do your own research. Come to your own conclusions. But these are some of the key takeaway questions that I think all of us should take away from this webinar. Does milk hurt? Does do egg hurt? And does meat hurt anybody? So we'll move. Before moving towards the next question, I think I have another poll for all of us. I'll quickly share that poll. Okay. So it has two questions. I'll quickly read it out. The first is, would you kill and eat your pet, dog, cat, or bird? So if you are hungry at your home for someday, and if you don't find anything to eat, do you think you'll ever feel like killing and eating your pet dog or cat, or if you have parrot or any of the pet bird that you have? Second question is, would you drink the milk of dog, cat, or pig? So say there's a new product in the market. They say that we have pig's milk that's like it has 1,000 times more calcium than cow's milk. So how many of you think that you would want to try that out or drink pig's milk? I'll keep these questions for 10 more seconds and then I'll end the poll. Like I said, these are anonymous questions, so please feel free to answer whatever you wish. So I'll end the poll and share the results with all of you. So as you can see, majority of you wouldn't want to kill and eat your pet dog, cat, or bird, or would want to drink milk of dog, cat, or pig. Now, why do you think it is such way that we can't even think of killing and eating, say, a pet dog, while it is uh, it is a culture, it is a custom in some parts of the world. It's because that we are conditioned to see dogs, as caring animals, the animals that we love. But the truth is, the emotions that a dog feels is not very different from the emotions that a humans feel, and is not very different from emotions that the chicken feels. This is something that probably all of us would have done in our life. Speciesism, it's a form of discrimination wherein we are biased towards one species, when we consider one species to be of more importance, where we care about a species, and while we totally ignore the exploitations on another species. A very quick example, if somebody is beating a dog with a stick in front of your house, most of us would go there, ask him, why are you doing this? What harm has the dog done to you? And immediately, as soon as we replace the dog with a chicken and the stick with a knife, all of us would start defending the act, saying that, oh, he's trying to feed his family, chickens are for meal, he's also feeding other people. But in reality, the fear of death that a dogs feel is same as the fear of death that a chicken feels, and is same as the fear of death that humans feel. uh, the pain that a dog suffers is the same pain that we suffer, and is the same pain that these birds suffers. So it's all about our perception of these sentient beings. The idea of discussing this term speciesism here today is today's generation is more woke than ever. We talk about various discriminations that have been happening, like racism, sexism, casteism. We are more vocal than ever. So the idea is to enlighten you about this discrimination as well that happens, and all of us are part of it. So let's address the elephant in the room. Why animal agriculture has been working since past 10,000 years, and why it has become a major problem right now. Jaikar sir almost covered all of it. There's a large resource footprint associated with it. Animal agriculture uses 33% of our clean drinking water, 70% of our agricultural land. All of us must have heard of news of Brazilian forest fire, Amazon bushfire, US West Coast fires. So most of the time, these fires are man-made in order to clear out the forest to grow pastoral lands for animals. If you take Brazil, for example, 90% of the times the reason for clearing of Amazon rainforest is to grow pastoral lands so they could grow crop feed for these animals. Majority of the world's soybean, world's maize are given to these animals as a feed, and further these animals are given to humans to consume. If we eliminate filtering our food through these animals, we can feed millions of populations, millions of people across the world. Then these creatures, they are ruminant creatures, that is they produce methane gas as byproduct of their digestive system. Methane is one of the most significant greenhouse gases. Greenhouse gases are the gases that absorb the microwave radiation that are reflected back from the earth, creating the optimum temperature for life to be possible. It's like a layer of blankets across the earth that keeps the earth warm enough for life to sustain. But since past few centuries, because of our extensive fossil fuels, because of our agricultural practices, this thickness of blanket has been increasing, leading to global temperature rise, global warming, and change in the climatic conditions of the earth. So these cattle, they release 15.3 million tons of methane every year. Although it's nothing compared to carbon dioxide, but a molecule of methane can show up to 20 times effect of a single molecule of carbon dioxide. So our contribution to climate change is very significant in terms of the diet that we consume, in terms of the industry that we create demand for. A country like India, where we are highest in number of cattle and number of buffaloes, we contribute so much to environment degradation, to animal agriculture, to climate change via our animal agriculture. Uh, and on the other side, we are fifth most vulnerable country against climate change. Every year, millions of people lose their livelihoods to floods and cyclones. So right now, with increase in population, and as Jaikars already told that people find it fancy to consume non-veg, we are slowly moving towards the Western diet. So increase in population would only mean rise in demands of these animal agricultural animal products, leading to further degradation of our clean water, our land, our resources, and polluting of our air. So it has become more unsustainable than ever. Right now is a time to move towards the sustainable food system. Now I know all of you must wonder that what could we do? What could we do as an individual? We can't just go shut down a whole industry and make the whole ecosystem sustainable. But the least that all of us could do is be mindful of what we eat about. At least our personal choices, the choices which are our own, we can try to make a difference through those. So going vegan is probably the best thing that you could do. Vegan is someone who does not consume any animal derivative in their lifestyle. Although if you can't go vegan, you can probably be just mindful of what you consume. You can slowly reduce your consumption if you wish. If you say consuming chickens 5 times a week, you could reduce it to three. Every time that you choose to consume a plant-based food, you are helping your health and your environment. Now I know first time when you hear that somebody's talking about not consuming any animal products, so no ghee, butter, paneer, cheese, no buttermilk or chicken, then well, like what does remain in our milk? So majority of our food is already plant based. In fact, a typical Indian thali that we have, the dal chawal and the sabzis that we eat, most of them are vegan. Majority of our snacks like vada pav, samosa, pani puri is vegan. Majority of South Indian food is vegan. So already we are consuming these plant-based food. We don't actually need to look out for more food options. We can just start consuming more of these and less of the animal derivatives to make an impact in environment on the planet that we live in. Now let's talk about nutrition. I know all of you must have questions about what about our protein, what about our calcium, and I know it has happened with me as well that it was tough to imagine getting all your nutrient requirements from only plant-based food sources, but it's very much possible. You can probably get almost everything that you need from plant-based food sources. So these are some of the foods that are high in protein. We have moong, we have rajma, we have chickpeas, lentils, big peas. For iron, we have chickpeas, kidney beans, lentils. For calcium, we have radish. Excuse me. For calcium, we have radish leaves, we have methi, we have orange juice, and like I said, that these are not some food items that you'll have to scavenge, go out looking for. These are something that you already consume in your diet. You just need to consciously increase the amount for to replace the nutrition that you were earlier sourcing from your animal derived food. Now vitamin B12 is often talked about that is something that you could get only from animal sources, and only animal produced B12, you can't find it in plants. So that's not accurate. Vitamin B12 is actually produced by bacteria, which is often being supplemented into the feed of these animals, which is why they have B12 in their bodies. You could directly supplement these which are derived from bacteria. Like I already said, that we don't need to filter our nutrients via these animals. Now let's talk about how it will help your health. By going vegan, you could lower your blood pressure to risk of high blood pressure to up to half or three-fourth. You lower your type 2 diabetes risk by two-third. You'll lower your cancer risk by 15 to 20%. You'll significantly lower your cholesterol levels. You'll help the planet by reducing the amount of greenhouse gases that you emission. Like I said, a UN study says that you can reduce your environmental footprint up to 73% by just changing your diet. So you can change the majority of the impact that you have on the planet by simply changing your diet. You'll help in saving water, you'll help in reduction of deforestation, you'll help in ending the world hunger and increasing wellness for everyone. You'll you'll reduce the suffering of these animals that are exploited for our food. You'll respect their basic life, basic right to live, and you'll leave more land for wildlife. Now, these are some of the famous vegan celebrities across the world. Kuntal is personal inspiration. Kuntal is vegan since 18 to 20 years, and he has submitted Mount Everest twice. So I decided to go vegan after I heard the news of Kuntal submitting the Mount Everest, and that is when I realized that, oh, if a person can live, train, and actually summit Mount Everest on plant-based lifestyle, I can definitely live my very meager and sedentary life compared to him. Joaquin Phoenix, all of us must have seen him in his role of Joker. He recently used his Oscar speech to talk about the cruelty of dairy industry. And Amala Akineni is famous South Indian actress who has multiple sanctuaries across South India. Now, 10 Weeks to Vegan is our flagship program. It is in two languages, Hindi and English. It's of course free of cost. So we basically send 10 emails over a span of a week, like over a span of 10 weeks. So one email every week. These emails contain quick and easy recipes to make alternate. So you don't need to sacrifice your taste or nutrients. You can probably have any food recipes that you consume right now just by changing couple of ingredients. You can get the same taste with plant-based. So you can get almost like there are 10 to 12 types of plant-based milk that you can easily make at home. There's cashew milk, there's peanut milk, there's oats milk, there's almond milk, and they are very easy to make at home. You'll find recipes to this. You'll find information about nutrition, which is verified by registered dietitians. We also provide discount codes for various products available in the market. You'll find information about the animals that you are helping. You can, if you think that you need more, more personalized help, you can go onto our website. You can register to get a free mentor over there. All of our resources are free of cost. These are to help you, if you are interested, these are to help you make transition towards a plant-based lifestyle. We also provide a 10 weeks completion certificate to students who go through all the 10-week emails. And if you are not interested in receiving these emails at any time, you can unsubscribe. There's an unsubscribe option at the bottom of every email. These are our social media handles: Vegan Outreach India on Instagram and Vegan Outreach India on Facebook. You can follow us to know updates about vegan industry, updates about our various programs, opening and opportunities with us. So we'll move to question answer section now. Before moving to question answer section, I'm sharing a feedback link with all of you. I would highly appreciate if all of you could give your honest feedback in it. Please feel free to write whatever you wish, but please give your honest feedback. Your feedback will really help us improve our program. Thank you. Thank you so much for hearing me out. Okay, so we'll take question and answers now. If you have any questions, please feel free to type it out in question answer section, and I'll be more than happy to answer them. So I have one question by Vignesh. Vignesh says that if milk is suitable to baby, why we can't get good from it? Because we become more stronger than baby. Okay, so Vignesh, like anything that our body can digest, it will digest and get nutrients out of it. But essentially, it is not a complete food for us. It is complete food for the baby for which it has been secreted, and we require, so it contains certain antibodies that baby requires to grow. It contains certain hormones that baby requires to grow, apart from the vitamins and minerals, that is, the nutrients that it has. So when we consume the milk, we also consume those substances which are not meant for us. But yeah, I mean, you can consume milk if you want to, like with, but like, say if you're consuming it for calcium, so we have plenty of other options to consume calcium. Sesame seeds have almost twice as much calcium than milk. If you're consuming it from protein, you can consume chickpeas. So if only purpose for you to consume it is to become stronger, then there is a variety of plant-based food that you can consume for all your nutrient nutritional requirements. And like if that does not answer your question, please feel free to ask again. I'll be more than happy to answer it. Okay, I think we have another. It's no, okay. It's answer for the poll. Okay, so I don't see any other questions. So I'll just quickly write our email ID here. If you have any questions that you want to ask us anonymously, please feel free to email us on this, and we'll get back to you within a span of handing over to you, Shishapa sir. Say unmute.
Okay, any questions, please, sir? ಯಾವ್ದಾದ್ರು ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಇದ್ರೆ ಅಥವಾ ಯಾವ್ದಾದ್ರು ಕ್ಲಾರಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್ ಇದ್ರೆ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಗಳು ಕೇಳ್ಬೋದು. ಜಯದೀಪ್ ಸರ್ ಇಸ್ ರೆಡಿ ಟು ಗಿವ್ ದಿ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಆರ್ ಕ್ಲಾರಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್ಸ್. ಎನಿ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್?
ಶೇಖರ್ ಸರ್ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಹೇಳಿದ್ಯಾ?
ಇಲ್ಲ ಮೇಡಮ್, ಎಲ್ಲ ಆಲ್ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಕವರ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. And it was a very informative session, Jaydeep.
Thank you, sir. Even I enjoyed your speech at the start. It pretty much summed up everything that I wanted to convey in today's webinar.
Thank you. Many of the myths about the non-vegetarian food have been broken by you now.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
ಮೇಡಮ್ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡುವ? Jaydeep sir, very thanks to your informative session. Thank on behalf of our Mangalore University NSS sir and State NSS, top of our 5 colleges, NMC Sulya, KSS Subramanya, GFGC Uppinangadi, GFGC Punjalakatte, and Dayanappai Satish Pai Government First Grade College, State Mangalore. Okay. ಇವತ್ತಿನ ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದಲ್ಲಿ ಬಹಳ ಉತ್ತಮವಾದಂತಹ ಮಾಹಿತಿಗಳು, ಎಷ್ಟೋ ಮಾಹಿತಿಗಳು ನಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ಒಳ್ಳೆಯ ಒಂದು ವೆಬಿನಾರ್. ಸಸ್ಯ ಜಗತ್ತು, ಪ್ರಾಣಿ ಜಗತ್ತು ಜೊತೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಗೆ ನಾವು ಬದುಕ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಬಹಳಷ್ಟು ಮಾಹಿತಿಗಳನ್ನ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಬಹಳ ನಿಧಾನವಾಗಿ, ಒಂದಷ್ಟು ವಿಶೇಷವಾಗಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಜೊತೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ವಿಷಯಕೊಂಡು ಬಹಳ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಮಾಹಿತಿಯನ್ನು ಕೊಟ್ಟರು. ಆ ಜೊತೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇವತ್ತಿನ ಮುಖ್ಯ ಅತಿಥಿಗಳಾಗಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಜೊತೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಹಿತಿ ಸರ್ ಅವರು. ಸೊ ಜಯಕರ್ ಸರ್ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದ ಪ್ರಯುಕ್ತವಾಗಿ ತುಂಬ ಹೃದಯದ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು. ಬಹಳ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಸಮಯದಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮ್ಮನ್ನ ಕಾಂಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದು ನಾನು, ಆದ್ರೂ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದು ಒಂದು ಉತ್ತಮವಾದಂತಹ ಮಾಹಿತಿಗಳನ್ನು ತಿಳಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀರಿ. ಅದೇ ರೀತಿ ಇವತ್ತಿನ ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಮುಖ್ಯ ರೂವಾರಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಮೇಡಮ್ ಅವರು, ನಾಗರತ್ನ ಮೇಡಮ್ ಅವರು. ನಿಮಗೆ ಕೂಡ ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದ ಪ್ರಯುಕ್ತವಾಗಿ ಧನ್ಯವಾದ ಸಲ್ಲಿಸ್ತಿದ್ದೇನೆ. ಮುಖ್ಯವಾಗಿ ಸಹಕರಿಸಿದಂತಹ ಚಿತ್ರಲೇಖಾ ಮೇಡಮ್ ಅವರು, ಮತ್ತು ಸಂಜೀವ ಸರ್ ಅವರು, ಮತ್ತೆ ಸಂತೋಷ್ ಪ್ರಭು ಸರ್ ಅವರು, ಆರತಿ ಮೇಡಮ್ ಅವರು, ಮತ್ತು ಶೀಲವತಿ ಮೇಡಮ್, ನಿಮ್ಮನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ವಿಶೇಷವಾಗಿ ನಾನು ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದ ಪ್ರಯುಕ್ತವಾಗಿ ನಿಮಗೆ ಧನ್ಯವಾದ ಸಲ್ಲಿಸ್ತಿದ್ದೇನೆ. ಮತ್ತೊಮ್ಮೆ ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದಂತಹ ಎಲ್ಲ ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿಗಳು, ಎಸ್ಪೆಷಲಿ 400ಕ್ಕೂ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿಗಳು ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು. ಇವತ್ತು 200ಕ್ಕೂ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಮಂದಿ ಈ ವೆಬಿನಾರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಭಾಗವಹಿಸಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ನಿಮ್ಗೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ ನಮ್ಮ ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದ ಪ್ರಯುಕ್ತವಾಗಿ ಧನ್ಯವಾದ ಸಲ್ಲಿಸ್ತಾ ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮವನ್ನು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮುಗಿಸ್ತಿದ್ದೇನೆ. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು.
ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಶೇಖರ್ ಸರ್. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು.
ವೆಲ್ಕಮ್.
ಒಂದೊಳ್ಳೆ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ ಸಂಘಟಿಸಿದಿರಿ. ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು ಎಲ್ರಿಗೂ. ಶೇಷಪ್ಪ ಸರ್, ನಾಗರತ್ನ ಮೇಡಮ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಆಲ್ ದಿ ಟೀಮ್ NSS.
ನೀವು ಬಂದದ್ದು ಬಹಳ ಖುಷಿ ಇದೆ ಸರ್.
ಹೌದು.
Thank you very much, sir. Jaydeep sir, once again I will thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for this wonderful opportunity. Thank you so much, Nagaratna ma'am, for organizing this. And thank you so much, everyone, for attending this. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.